signal now for when I'm needed. But when that light hits the sky, it's not just a call. It's a warning to them.
Yes, sir. Welcome to Beyond the Bat Signal. I'm your host, Don Nikanika, and join me as we dive into the depths of Batman's lore, dissecting the Rogues Gallery, and uncovering the stories of our iconic vigilante known as the Dark Knight. Thank you very much for tuning into today's episode. Before we get into the nitty-gritty of Hush 2, the Batman 160 issue, just asking each of you, first and foremost, if you don't mind rating and reviewing the show, as honestly it really does go a long way for helping support the show, as it really does get the show out there and spreads the word. Number 2, and this is probably the most important one, is thank you so much for tuning in and listening. There's been quite a few listeners all across the world, Europe, the United States, India. It's pretty wild. Like in Europe, I mean, Italy represent, by the way, and shout out to Peter Vera. The Netherlands is another one. Denmark, England, actually all in the UK. Pretty cool. And then the folks over in the United States and here in Canada. Thank you so much for tuning in, and for new listeners, welcome. I hope that our little short time here, you're slightly entertained. Today, as you can tell by the title, we are going to be talking about Batman issue 160, Hush 2, and let me just get into the cover first and foremost. I think we are, 3 issues in now? I think I like this issue, the cover, the most. And there's quite a few. There's a lot of variant covers, but I got cover A, where it's black font, white background, Batman grabbing his head with blood on his hands. And Hush is just, if you haven't noticed, it's repeated quite often. And I love it. I don't know. It's just Batman with the yellow oval. Really enjoy this. It's a simple cover, but I actually really like it. Curious what cover you guys have been getting. I saw one by Lee Bermejo, one of my favorite artists, hands down. And I was just like, man, do I get that one or do I just go and get the Jim Lee? And I really did like the background in this one. It spoke to me. I did notice, though, like a little bit of Superman has been teased in the cover. Don't understand why. If someone way smarter than me, or even slightly, I'm sure you guys will figure it out, can tell me why, like, I'm noticing Superman slightly pop up, and I get it from the first series of Hush comics, where I think it was back in over 20 years ago, and I know Superman made an appearance, but I was expecting like at least something. I get it that the cover artist doesn't always hold true to what's going on in the story, but anyway, I was convinced. I was like, Superman is going to jump in here. But no, that isn't the case. Now, let's get into today's story, where Batman, it's actually titled, flipping over to the page, it's called The Night. And we get a good look at the Bat Cycle, which I dig. Very simple. And it kind of gives a different perspective as to when Jason Todd or Red Hood invaded the Batcave and just kind of was like, okay, like he took out Batman, but it was through a different lens, and we get a good look at Hush's new outfit. I guess let's start there, and then we'll go to Jason Todd. So Hush's new outfit, I don't mind it. I actually kind of like the brown trench coat. I don't mind that. I actually prefer it, but this one looks all right. He's got, listen, it's comic booky, right? So this is what we're gonna get. Do I hate it? No. Do I love it? No, I like it. But it's got like the H. It reminds me of kind of like the Ninja Turtles, where they have the belts and they have the letter. Where it's like if you're Leonardo, you have the L. If you have your Donatello, you have D. Hush has the H. Good for him. But it's getting it from different perspectives. And here, Jason Todd, he's got the domino mask. He's still got that little bit of white hair at the front. And Batman's just watching this all replay. And he realizes that Hush is involved into the kidnapping of Joker, the taking of the Batmobile. But little things, like I love how Jeff Loeb does flashbacks and just kind of hits home for Bruce. But, there is a greater plan behind everything that Hush is planning. You still have Joker laid out, half dead, and here's Jason Todd ready to just blow his brains out, and Hush is taking exception, throws a blade dead center to where the bullet's going to come out, and basically saying, listen, take your best shot. If you want to lose your hand when that pistol backfires and explodes. Because, listen, Jason Todd is just angry. He just wants revenge to take out Joker. Doesn't understand why that, Joker's still alive. And Jason, still being the hothead that he is, takes a little bit out on Hush, right? So he even whacks with Hush right in the head, and you see like a nice little blood mark coming right through the bandages. Nice little detail. Didn't mind that at all. And it just shows like how much of a loose cannon Jason Todd is. Even Batman, through his internal dialogue, just says he's made it challenging for him to listen to anyone. And just, boom, whacks Hush across the head. And I love the writing in this. And this is like elite in my opinion. Where Hush just kind of turns the tables just to make sure, one, that the camera catches it, and two, just to reiterate, like, and hold over what Jason Todd had gone through, and just like, put salt in that wound. And this is what he says: we both know that you need my help. That fits the rage, the cerebral pain you're hiding. Your brain is deteriorating. There was just too much damage, even for the Lazarus pit to repair. Curious though, as you lay dying in his arms, he didn't think to call me his childhood friend and the best brain surgeon in the world. When Bruce cracked his skull open, mine was the first number he dialed. Like, beautiful. And just like, just to, and listen, Jason, he's no stupid idiot. Like, he even says, did you just do that for the surveillance cameras, or was that just last part for himself, right? Kind of makes you think. And just showing how accurate that Hush is, just throws all those blades directly at the security cameras. And then in the next page, we get a beautiful panel. Batman in his bat cycle, and the way that they just kind of color this page. So if you see, it's like the title kind of, and you got in the background the lightning, it's raining, and you get a cool look at what this bat cycle looks like, and the cape just flowing on in the background just looks pretty dope. I don't know, the way like Jim Lee, whenever he draws, I mean, man, the art itself just is a showstopper. But then we get a nice little flashback as to Bruce Wayne going through his dad Thomas Wayne's, I guess, little tools. And Thomas is just like, hey Bruce, what are you doing here? He's like, Father, this is very dangerous. And he's holding up that blade, the exact blade that Hush has, particularly in the wrong hands. Tommy Elliott, the boy we took to Metropolis, he said that your scalpels are the finest in the world. And I know I'm going to mention or say this incorrectly. Damascus Steel. So Hush says that out loud, and he wanted to make sure that Bruce Wayne knew, or Batman, either or. So through the internal dialogue, we get a continuation of Batman going through the streets in his bat cycle. My parents were murdered. The toy soldiers were never made. So they kind of make mention of us to Bruce. Like, this is to show how close Bruce Wayne and Tommy Elliot were, or how much Bruce Wayne really got along with Tommy Elliot. And Bruce just goes, sorry, hang on one sec. Da, 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 da. You see how perfectly balanced it is? It will not slip during surgery. And Bruce just asks, could you make something else with it? And then Thomas Wayne just responds, that takes time. Like what? A sword? And Bruce Wayne, out of the goodness of his heart, like, what a beautiful boy. Tommy likes to play war games with these small little metal soldiers. Do you think we can make a set for his birthday? Oh, look at that. Then we get next page of Jim Gordon. Jim Gordon, good old Jim. And he's got like a little mirror that's set up with a bat logo, and it just says a friend. So all you see, Jim Gordon picks it up. It kind of looks like a tablet, and it says, welcome back, my friend, to the show that never ends. So this is quite a pickle. Let's just say you left me here to die. Croak, kick the bucket. Since, it's not like you did the deed. Who would know except you? Hee hee hee. Oh God. And we got to, like, you can tell through Jim Gordon's glasses, you got an image of the Joker. In case you couldn't tell by the little laughter. And right away, you get, like, it looks like what's on the image is Joker attacking Batman, and then Batman blocking, and Jim Gordon just says enough, turns the power off, and boom, an explosion. And the last part we see of Jim Gordon is just, it looks like him unconscious, bleeding. We do get some Riddler in here. I still find it weird with the question mark over his eye. Not a big question mark over the eye. Got Mike Tyson vibes. Anyway, and they're at Clock Tower, and I do appreciate the little that Riddler's part of this scene, interacting with Nightwing and Batgirl. I do appreciate it. Now, Riddler kind of just says to Dick and Babs that, listen, no one knows Hush like I do, which is true. And right now, Babs and Dick have a hard time just trusting Nigma, aka the Riddler, and he's just like, listen, like, what do you want, basically? And he's like, listen, I know the entire Bat family's identity. And right away, Nightwing is ready to go and find Jason and go attack. And Riddler is just like, listen, that's exactly what Hush wants. And he's like, I need to get to Jason. And Riddler's the one who's saying, listen, you guys need to stick together. You two need to stay together and fight as a team. You can't go into a trap where the Hush wants you. And Nightwing's just like, I don't give a damn what Hush wants. Tell me where Jason is. And then all of a sudden, you get a nice close-up of the eye of Riddler with the good old tattoo, I think. And he's like, question, how can you be in two places at once? And then we have Batgirl immediately reacting and is just like, I don't care. Right away, she's like, I need to go get my dad. And it seems like she solved the riddle pretty quick. And Nightwing responds while he's like kind of has his bow out and ready to attack Riddler. And he's like, answer, you can't unless there are two of you. Riddler's response was, each of you has at least one person you care deeply about, an Achilles heel. That's where he'll apply pressure. Now, here is where I'm like, is Riddler behind this? Right? Is the whole point is to split up the Bat family while like kind of playing mind games and saying, okay, I'm telling you to stay together. But then all of a sudden he kind of throws out a riddle to kind of get them apart. Like, why say the riddle? I don't know. Like, why tell them that and then try, like, the whole point would be like, listen, let's stick together. I don't know. But I think that was the whole point, was to kind of get Babs out, and then all of a sudden, it gives every reason for Nightwing to get out. Anyway, here we have Batman going up Wayne Med Tower, one of his father's many legacies, and he sees, I was like, who's this with the white hair? Kind of looks like, isn't not Silver St. Cloud vibes, but like, listen, silver hair here, okay? And no idea who this is. And there's like a little bit of an interaction here where he's like, I'm not expecting anyone to be working this late. Oh, I was not expecting anyone, especially you, she responds to Batman. She's like, oh, I've heard of the Batman, but I didn't think you were real. How can I help you? And Batman just takes out one of these scalpels that he has on in his hand. He's like, this scalpel was made here, because he knew exactly where it was made. Sure enough. There should be a serial number, but it's missing. Who is it made for? And then through internal dialogue, everything about this woman is a lie. The name, her accent, and is she in a league with Hush? Oh, by the way, this lady with the silver hair introduces herself as Armor. And let me tell you, she has like some messed up powers, okay? She looks like she just, like, her hand kind of just turns into this blade and just kind of hyperextends. Almost looks like a blade / knife, but it is long. And Batman's trying to take her out and is a little bit occupied. And through internal dialogue, he's saying she has to concentrate to hold her forms. I need to break that. I need to break her. And Batman's asking, where is he? Where's Hush? And it just seems like it's just like that there's this, I don't know, it looks like what is it? He looks like he's freezing, and it looks like it's going all the way up to his head. But you got big letters, capital letters, stop. Then you have Nightwing show up, and sure enough, you have Jason looking face to face at Joker, and just waiting and waiting. And Jason was obviously expecting somebody, but he was expecting Batman, not Nightwing. And sure enough, that's what what's his name, Red Hood, says, is like, I was expecting Bruce, not you. He whips out a couple of guns, and then they have like a little bit of a battle themselves. And Nightwing's just saying, like, listen, Jason, you need to come with me. And Jason Todd's response was just saying, typical, you don't get it, Dick. Bruce shot at me with a gun. And Nightwing's just like, what? I don't believe you. Kind of interesting that, you know, you have Batman in the last issue shoot a gun, but it was it's not very Batman-esque. And I feel like that's an onion peel we're going to layer back and figure out why. Because Nightwing's like, what? I don't believe you. And Red Hood's just like, I don't care. I'm not leaving. And he also says, you're not leaving either. And I don't need these, as in, like, he's holding his guns, puts them down. He's like, I don't need these to kick your ass. And, man, like, they kind of just go off. Here I am flipping the page. They get a couple of good punches in. Looks like Nightwing is. And it's pretty even. They get a good kind of nice crosses in. And then all of a sudden, you get a small little image at the bottom of the page where Joker kind of just opens up his one eye. And you already know, this is not going to be good. Nightwing just says, I'm taking you even if I have to carry you out. And boom, boom. All you hear is blam, blam. And sure enough, that's Joker. Joker's holding up two guns pointed directly at Nightwing and Red Hood. And Joker just goes, oh, I wanted to use this line for such a long time. Which one of you is faster than a speeding bullet? Yeah, that was okay. I didn't mind that. Anyway, we have basically Joker holding the gun at both these guys, dead to rights, and just saying, listen, what are you going to do? I'm kind of curious how they both get out of it, or if Joker's kind of in cahoots with Hush. I kind of doubt it. but because Joker's just unpredictable, and who knows what to expect from this guy. And like, what does Hush have to do with all of this? Like, I read reviews online about this, and I was originally going to release this episode last week. For those of you that don't know, I think I mentioned it. I was moving, and man, oh man, moving is such a stressful thing. Anyway, sorry, going on a tangent. But they got bad reviews, and I'm like, we haven't even fully completed this arc yet. Like, it's going to have 6 issues, takes a little bit of a break, and then it comes back with an additional 6. Okay, but there is a bigger picture here, and I feel like right now what Jeff Loeb is doing excellently is just dropping breadcrumbs and getting us to want more. And it makes you think, like, what's Riddler behind all this? Why? Joker, like, he's got guns pointed to both their heads. Why? Because there was a reason. Like, Hush didn't want to kill Joker. Riddler said, he wants both you guys. Riddler was like saying to Babs, you need to stick together. And it's just kind of interesting as to, like, how he got Nightwing to go and find Jason, right? And then here you have Batman on his own, and the whole Bat family is pretty much being taken out at this moment in time, and Batman's just being beaten up, his ass is kicked. I think it's that new character out of nowhere, by the way. Like, did that lady just transform back into that character? I think his name is Silence. Anyway, we see him back, and he was from the first issue, and he was the guy who took out Joker. And Batman's just struggling. He's grabbing his head and just looks like he's holding on to his ears. He's having a difficult time, hard to think. Batman's saying his voice emits hypersonic, specifically my design. And I used them on Killer Croc when I first encountered Hush. So one of the big words that it's saying, it seems like this is what Silence is saying, is you will fall. And Batman's just getting his butt kicked. Anyway, all of a sudden, so Batman's got like a little bit of a fail-safe here, and it looks like he's just got some small little claws that come out of his, it's not brass knuckles or anything, but like nice sharp claws, and punches Silence right in the neck, and Silence doesn't even budge. He's just like looking at him like a peasant. And then in comes, first Batman gets his ass kicked, and then in comes, which is this is random to me, but I do like the drawing of this. I thought the way Bane was drawn, oh gosh, chef's kiss. Anyway, in comes Damian with Bane, the most random tandem I have ever seen. Don't get why. Like, it's like, why, Bane, why are you here? It makes no sense to me. And Batman clearly can't, because he's like, Damian with Bane? Like, what the hell are you doing here? And here's Bane going toe-to-toe with, what's his name? Oh my god. Silence. What a hard name to recall. I don't know why. And they're just duking it out. And here's Damian, Batman, Bane kind of working together. Anyway, Batman's dragging Silence out, and Batman's just like looks pissed off and is just asking Damian, what are you doing here with Bane? Damian's response was, helping you, duh. And he's just through internal dialogue, Bruce is starting to think, well, has Hush gotten to Damian? Like, now he's starting to get a little paranoid, it seems like. So Batman's just saying, I don't need your help. Bane, do not let him speak. Because it seems like if he opens his mouth, it will pierce all their hearing, and it just takes them out cold. Clearly, Batman is worn out just through the speaking and the fighting. Anyway, and then you have Hush that has Damian with, of course, one of the blades pointed directly to his neck. And the plan all along was to get all the Robins in jeopardy. And what does Hush say? It's a shame you can't be in two places at once. You have other knights in jeopardy. Any way you play this, Bruce, 3 Robins die tonight. And to be continued. So, here's what I'm thinking. Kind of curious about your feedback on that one. Is you have Riddler forcing Babs to go one way. You have Nightwing forced to go another way to find the other Robin, aka Jason Todd. You have Joker taken out, I guess, and just chilling out, and all of a sudden he's got 2 guns pointed at 2 Robins, and then you have Hush with Damian. And Damian did not come alone. He came with Bane. Again, is Bane behind this? Kind of a big question. But finally, after 3 issues, you have Hush going face to face with Batman. Really curious where the next issue is going to go, but we're going to have to wait a month. I think it's till July. I know we're in June right now, but the June issue is not going to come out. There's going to be a slight delay. I think it's just 1 month. And complete bummer. I mean, I'm really excited. I actually really like where this is going. I would give this issue, I think I'd give it another A, maybe A minus. So I'll give it 8 out of 10, I guess. I really did enjoy it. Jim Lee, just the way this guy draws and just illustrates Batman, and like the guy's a perfectionist, and it clearly shows. The coloring is done fantastically. Only caveat, Riddler, not big on the design, but heck man, are we gonna constantly get the same Riddler design over and over again? No. So if it's reimagined, fine, so be it. I actually did not mind Hush's new look. I do prefer the old one. Maybe this will grow on me. I'm not sure. Who knows? The whole Jason Todd look, yeah, it's good. It's fine. But, the whole story is slowly building up to something new. I really do like the whole silence angle. And this guy's got unique powers where if he talks, he just completely takes everyone out. And, through words, you feel it on the page where Batman's just like the pain that Batman's feeling. Something as simple as stop, you will fall, and Batman's just crumbling to his knees. The guy looks like one tough dude, but the final shot of Hush having a blade directly at Damian's neck, and you're just like, what the hell is he gonna do? Who's gonna hop in here? Really curious where this all goes. Overall I did like the issue. I'm trying to look at my favorite panel here, and kind of it's hard to choose with Jim Lee, overall I would say probably my favorite is Batman on the Bat-Cycle, and you got rain pouring, you got the lightning striking in the background. It's pretty cool. You got the huge cape, and just, I don't know, something about it looks pretty sweet. I think that would probably be my favorite panel. Another good one is Bane and Damian just breaking through glass and just coming in to save the day. Looks pretty sweet. Again, love the way they're both drawn, and this is excellent. This is A+ work from Jim Lee, and really digging it. I'm really curious what you guys think though, with this book and where it's going. It's 3 issues. Listen, this is setting up to be something bigger. Ryan Lauer says it best. It's just something. It's like a good popcorn film. You can just sit back and enjoy and just read it over and over. And I really do believe that. This has been Jim Lee at his finest. Jeff Loeb being the legendary Jeff Loeb. He is who he is. And, this is a larger detective story than we think. And for us as readers, I'm talking out loud and reading. This is my second time reading it with you guys. And I'm like, yeah, listen, there's more villains that meet the eye that are in on this, I think. And why? Right? And then the other thing, and I hope to God this isn't it. I hate when, characters like Batman when their secret identity is revealed, it bothers me so much. I just don't like it. And I hope Hush kind of has that and keeps it to himself. But I wonder what the whole motive is. And I'm wondering if you guys have any theories. I'm sure you do. Probably better than mine. And again, send me an email. beyondthebatsignal@gmail.com, or feel free to shoot me a message at beyondbadsignal on X/Twitter. But yeah, I'm really curious to hear what you guys all think. But with that being said, like, next episode is going to be the Batman Begins 15th anniversary. So we're going to have a special guest on, and he's a previous guest. I will give you a hint. He's from the Scream Along podcast. So if you guys are unsure what that is, I would highly recommend, especially if you're a horror film fanatic or just love Scream, go to the Scream Along podcast and tune into their shows. They got up-to-date news with casting and everything that's going on with Scream and the whole franchise and the horror industry in general. They even got some reviews up there as well. But that's the little breadcrumb I'll leave you with. But with that being said, thank you very much for tuning into today's episode. I'm glad I can drop one. I'm going to tell you right now that things are going to get a little busy for me, so I'm not sure how often episodes are going to drop. But I know one thing is for sure, which is we will be celebrating Batman Begins 20th anniversary. So really looking forward to this. Now, with that being said, my name is Dominic Nika. This is Beyond the Bad Signal, and we are signing off.